Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National Timely Action Hour. This is the show where we talk about everything from Superman to video games and everything in between. My name is Aidan, and I hope that you're doing well today. So in this video, I'm going to be doing a review of Superman Funeral for a Friend. This was written by quite a few people. Dan Jurgens, Carl Kessel, William Messner-Loebs, Jerry Ordway, Louise Simonson, and Roger Stern. Drawn by John Bogdanov, June Brigman, Rick Burchett, Tom Grummett, and Jackson Geiss, as well as Dennis Janke, Dan Jurgens, Dennis Rodier, Walter Simonson, and Kurt Swan, and inked, colored, and lettered by many talented people. So this is a follow-up to my review of The Death of Superman, which I did a few years ago at the time of recording, and this follows the immediate aftermath of that event. It actually begins right after Superman dies, and it shows the world's reaction to the death of Superman, and it shows the people of Metropolis wondering what will happen next, now that their savior is no more. Throughout the story, we get various different plots. Like I said, the people's reaction. There's, in the first issue, we get a bunch of people trying to resuscitate Superman, like the Guardian, who's a character from the Golden Age, but revived post-crisis. And he tries to do CPR, but that does not work. Then some new characters like Professor Hamilton and Bibbo Babowski use their technology to try and revive him. That is unsuccessful. But yeah, that's the gist of the first issue, along with people trying to, figure out what to do now that Superman and Doomsday are dead. There's a group called Cadmus, which is this government agency that is developing various different sciences, and they want to take Superman's body and Doomsday's bodies and dissect them and clone them so that they can create armies. And then we get plots about Luthor and what he's up to and how he is. So Luthor died, and his brain was implanted into the body of a clone that was younger and had hair, and they've developed this fake backstory where he's Lex Luthor II, the son of Lex Luthor and this doctor woman, and he's from Australia, and so he puts on this stupid Australian accent. No offense to any one who is viewing this from Australia or New Zealand, but the people writing this are American, so they don't normally know what your cadences sound like, and they just butcher your culture, and I do apologize about that. But I say he puts on a stupid accent because it's probably not that authentic. But yeah, so there's a subplot about how Luthor is dating this alien that looks like Supergirl but isn't Supergirl, and how he's manipulating her to do his bidding, and how he wants to get Superman's body so that he can, figure out how he worked and how to clone him. He's in league with Cadmus, but he also just wants to make sure that Superman is dead, because he's Superman's archenemy. But then there's this bit where we see the Justice League and their reaction, which is really cool. And here's some of the artwork. Here's Lois cradling Superman's body, the people of Metropolis, the superheroes Ice and Bloodwind. Bloodwind is actually Martian Manhunter in disguise. I don't know why he is doing this, but that's just what's happening in the Justice League book. Booster Gold's suit which is from the future, was destroyed in the battle against Doomsday. So he's questioning whether or not he can still be a hero because his future technology is destroyed and he's stuck in the 20th century. So Blue Beetle is in a coma, brought on by the fight. And I like this cover here for Action Comics where they homage issue number 1. This is Action Comics 685. So the collection that I have includes everything that is relevant to this part of the Superman story. So it collects Action Comics number 685 and 86, Adventures of Superman number 498 to 500, Justice League of America number 70, Legacy of Superman number 1, Supergirl and Team Luthor Special number 1, Superman numbers 76 and 77, and The Man of Steel number 20 and 21. But I like this homage to Action Comics number 1. But yeah, I mean, the story is, it's a collection of stories that are running in the Superman books. And it's, you know, like I said, the reaction to the events in the previous arc. And I'm man enough to admit that some of these moments moved me to tears, like when the Kents can't go to Metropolis initially, and so they hold their own funeral for him in the cornfield where they found him. And that moved me to tears. And Bibbo Babowski, who's a side character who, I wouldn't say friends, but he is a supporting character. He and Superman have met each other on various occasions, and Bibbo's, you know, just a guy trying to do his best. And, you know, there's this scene where he's praying to God, where he's like, why did you take Superman when a schmuck like me is still alive? That moved me to tears. And Lois obviously is distraught because at this point they were engaged to be married. And you know, there's a scene where she is in Clark's apartment and just, you know, holding his picture and crying hysterically. And, you know, girl, I get it, and I was moved to tears because of it. But, you know, as someone reading this over 30 years after its publication, I know that Superman's going to come back to life, and the people writing this knew that Superman was coming back to life. It's just that with dramatic irony, I can feel the emotion portrayed on the page, but I know that, you know, it's for naught. But there's this funeral held by Luthor because he's pretending to be a good guy at this point, and we get a lot of the superhero community, like the Justice League of America and the Justice Society of America and some of the Teen Titans. We've got Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Guardian, Bloodwind, Ice, Fire, Captain Marvel, The Flash, Aquaman, Alan Scott, Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, Jay Garrick, Flash, Obsidian, Dr. Midnight, Dr. Fate, Kilowog, Nightwing, Geoforce, Maxima, Mr. Miracle, and some of the new gods, the Metal Men, Batman, Robin, Wildcat, Elongated Man, not quite sure who this guy here is, but that guy, Metamorpho, Hawkgirl, Hawkman, yada yada yada. Just a bunch of superheroes paying respects to their dearly departed leader and the citizens of Metropolis. Now, this cover shows Batman, Robin, and some of the others as pallbearers, but that's not what we see in the book. But, you know, I like this cover and I like the art inside, and the stories for the most part are well written. We spend a god-awful amount of time with some of the side characters, like Jose Delgado, who's a character named gangbuster who's dating Cat Grant, but then they break up, and it's like, I really do not care, okay? I get what you're trying to go for here. I just do not care about this. I like Cat Grant as a character. Don't care for Gangbuster. Some people are causing a ruckus at the funeral, and Batman is like, if you don't cut this shit out, I'm gonna drop you off this rooftop. You know, he won't do that, but, you know, this guy from Metropolis doesn't know. Then we get a commentary on the comic book industry and DC Comics itself, because there's this guy selling t-shirts, armbands, and the copies of the newspaper reporting that Superman is dead, and Bibbo takes offense to this. And this guy looks suspiciously like Marv Wolfman, who was a writer at DC, and or maybe he's Walter Simonson, one or the other. But, you know, it's a weird interaction, but I understand. They're commenting on themselves, saying, oh, woe is us. We get some cool action of Wonder Woman and Green Lantern and Robin calming down the riot. And Ma and Pa Kent are watching this on TV like, what the fuck is going on here? And cutting ahead a bit, we get Power Girl, who is originally Superman's cousin from Earth 2. She's the Earth 2 version of Supergirl, but because this is post-Crisis on Infinite Earths and pre-Infinite Crisis and all that, this is, you know, post-Crisis, pre-Zero Hour Identity Crisis, which I did a review of. Check out my review of that and my review of Crisis on Infinite Earths. But Power Girl is in a weird situation because originally she was Kryptonian. Now they're saying she's Atlantean. Later on, they'll say she's Kryptonian again. I don't like that. I love the post-Crisis continuity because I was born and grew up in that era, but there are a lot of things in the late 80s, you know, early post-Crisis era, and throughout the 90s that I do not like, because they're like, Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman can't be friends anymore, or, you know, Power Girl can't be Kryptonian anymore. Eventually they just knocked the fuck off and, you know, brought everything back to what it was like pre-Crisis, but still had their own, you know, post-Crisis spin on it, which I appreciate. But for the longest time, it's like, oh my gosh, knock it off. I just want them to be friends again. Thank God that they eventually knocked it off. But yeah, and I like this bit where Batman's talking about grief and how he's still grieving the loss of Jason Todd. And we catch up with Mitch, who is a side character in The Death of Superman, where his mom and dad were going through a divorce, and Doomsday was about to kill him, his mom, and his little sister, but Superman saved them. Eventually, the mom and dad get back together. This story is just, this collection is a collection of various different stories coming out month to month to month. And it's a vignette of what's going on in the DC universe post Death of Superman. I like the stories for the most part. They're well drawn, the colors are great, the lettering is great, everything about it is very well done. It's just, I don't care about a lot of these characters. My favorite superheroes are Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, the Hulk, and the Fantastic Four. I like other characters, but those are my main favorites. So I'm just like, okay, when is Superman coming back to life? Because it's 2025. Superman has been back to life for over 30 years now. Can I just get to that, please? I know you worked hard on this, and I appreciate that. I'm a writer myself. I know how hard it is to craft a story. It's just, oh my gosh. It's a bit of a drag to get through. And is it worth the moments that moved me? Yes. Is it worth looking at this pretty artwork? Yes. But do I enjoy the ride? Not necessarily. But yeah, that's basically the story. It's all of these different events occurring. I like this shot, this double page splash of Guardian, because Jack Kirby created Guardian back in the 40s after he had created Captain America, but he's just basically DC's Captain America, which I'm fine with, because again, the same guy created the characters. Cadmus steals Superman's body, and Lois and some other characters go and steal it back. Wave Rider, who's a time traveler, wants to go back in time and save Superman, but the laws of time travel stopped him from doing that. And here's Gangbuster, the lame dumbass who fumbled the 10 out of 10 baddie Cat Grant. Pa Kent has a heart attack because of the stress, and he goes on this vision quest to save his son's soul. Then at the end we find that Superman's body is missing, but not because Cadmus was trying to steal it again, but because he is resurrected, or at least brought elsewhere to be resurrected. And that's the story. Once again, I enjoy it for what it is, and what it is a shameless cash grab to play with the heartstrings of the people who are reading Superman each month. And would I recommend this? If you're a diehard Superman fan, yes, I would say it's essential reading. Would this be your first comic book? Definitely not. Definitely not. Who would even recommend this or The Death of Superman to be your first comic book? But this is something you should read after you've gotten acquainted with Superman and the rest of the DC universe, because this features a lot of side characters, some of whom have not been appearing recently but are still worth the opportunity, but who deserve the benefit of the doubt. And yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being absolute dog shit and 10 being spectacular, I would say that this book is, I'd have to give it a 7. It's well written, the artwork is beautiful, it's essential to see how Superman is put on the path to resurrection, and also for the character moments, but it's not amazing, it's not spectacular, it's not web of, I'm sorry, that's a Spider-Man reference, but it's not fantastic, but it is decent. So with all of that aside, what do you think of Superman Funeral for a Friend, if you have read it? And if you have, then please tell me your thoughts in the comments section, and please suggest any videos you would like to see in the future. And if you're new to my channel and want to check out more of my Superman content, or anything related to DC Comics, Marvel Comics, video games, Star Wars, Star Trek, etc., then please subscribe, ring the bell to be notified, share this with your friends if they're interested in this sort of content. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. If you did not like it, then I do apologize, but you can hit the dislike button. And in the description of the video, I will leave links to my Patreon page, merch store, so if you'd like to support this show financially, I would greatly appreciate that. On Patreon you get early access to videos and exclusive videos, and I also have a podcast, and I'll leave that linked, and on Patreon you get exclusive episodes of my podcast and early access to episodes. And you can also on Patreon read my original writing projects. I recently completed the 2nd chapter in my 4-part Doctor Who fan script, and I'll leave all of those links for you, so as well as my social media profile, so you can send me a message or get updates on when I'm posting and what I'm working on. I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, and Discord, so please check that out if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching this video on the National Timely Action Hour. Once again, my name is Aidan, and I sincerely hope that you all have a wonderful day. Cheers.
Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind, the sun, or the rain.